Good evening. This is the 10th video lesson on magnetic effect of current. We are almost at the end of the chapter. In previous class we have discussed about torque on a coil placed in a uniform magnetic field. We also derived an expression for magnetic dipole moment of a revolving electron. So you know that electrons revolve around the nucleus of all atoms. Because of their revolution, they produce a magnetic dipole moment given by EVR by 2, where E is the electronic charge, V is the speed with which they revolve in the orbit, R is the radius of the orbit, whole divided by T. Not only they revolve around the nucleus, but they also spin about their own axis. So because of this revolution, they have orbital magnetic dipole moment, and because of the spin, they have spin dipole moment. These two dipole moments only will attribute for the magnetism of the materials. So accordingly, you have three types of magnetic materials, namely ferromagnetic material, paramagnetic material, and diamagnetic material. Of course, ferro is a higher degree of paramagnetism. So therefore you can state that there are only two types of magnetic materials. One is para, other is what? Dia. Okay. So unfortunately children, this year the properties of para, ferro and diamagnetic materials are deleted. But this knowledge you must have. You already have studied in chemistry, I think in class 11th. And also this give very physical description about how the materials behave in external magnetic fields. Okay, right. So keeping this aside, we'll go to the continuation of the topic of the magnetic effect of current, that today we discuss about moving coil galvanometer. So topic of the day is moving coil galvanometer. This in abbreviation we write it as MCG. The previous version of this was D'Arsonval moving coil galvanometer, then Weston galvanometer. Now we have tabletop galvanometers. Earlier the D'Arsonval type galvanometer, it used to have a coil which is suspended by a wire or a thread, and which has got a lamp and scale arrangement. Because of the torsion produced in the suspension wire by the coil, it used to turn. So accordingly, the deflection is measured on the measured with the help of lamp and scale arrangement. So now that is totally discarded. Now we have a very simple arrangement for moving coil galvanometer. Right. So what does it do means, you have already had some introduction about galvanometer in Kirchhoff's laws. Okay. So we used it in a meter bridge. We also use it in a potentiometer. Children, it is a versatile device. Moving coil galvanometer is a versatile device. It can measure both voltages and currents, but it has more sensitivity towards current than the voltage. So what is MCG means? It's a versatile device. Versatile device, measures both voltage and current. The order of measurement is only milli and micro, milliampere or microampere. So when you want to use it as an ammeter, where you need to measure a 5 ampere or 10 ampere, then you need some conversions. That we will be taking up in the next class, that is conversion of galvanometer into voltmeter and ammeter. Now, what is the principle on which MCG works, moving coil galvanometer works means? Very simple. A current carrying coil placed in a magnetic field experiences a torque. The torque we have calculated in the last class. So principle of MCG is a current carrying coil a current carrying coil experiences torque in a uniform magnetic field. So it is not supposed to have a translational motion, it should have only rotational motion, uniform magnetic field. So this is very abstract, children. The words should be, everything should appear in the statement. Current carrying coil experiences torque placed in a uniform magnetic field. All the three are covers. Three are covered. Okay, right. Now we will see the construction. What is the construction part? What are the main parts of this moving coil galvanometer? Okay, so as the name suggests, it is a coil that is very, very important. It is the heart of the MCC. Okay, right. Now, we have a copper wire, any metallic wire, generally copper wire is taken. Okay, that is wound on a soft iron cylinder. Soft iron cylinder is a ferromagnetic material. It has got very high permeability, order of 10 power 5 times. Okay, so therefore it will try to increase the strength of magnetic field at the site of the coil. So therefore now we call the soft iron cylinder as the core of the coil. Rather, the coil is wound on a soft iron core. So if this is a cylindrical soft iron cylinder, and I take a long copper wire and I start rotating it or turning it like this. So children, you are seeing this projection, only this view, front view of the cylinder you are seeing, the entire cylinder is in the backward direction. So therefore, here, this is the cylinder, the entire part of the cylinder is into the plane of the board. So on that only we are going to turn the coil. Okay, right. So turnings will be, this is one turn. Okay, so it is like this, to go like this. So it will be like. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 example, they are nothing but what your turnings. Now this will be placed between a concave shaped magnetic poles. So this is the north pole and this is the south pole. So north pole of this will be somewhere else, so we will not show that. South pole of this will be somewhere else here, very long bar magnets, so we will not show the other ends. So north pole and south pole. What is the shape of this? Concave shaped magnetic pole. Fine. Now this creates a uniform magnetic field which is radial in sense. So this is one line will go like this. So other will be rather let me first draw the magnetic field, after that I will draw the turnings. It will be easy for you to understand. So this is we have a north pole here. South pole here. So here is soft iron cylinder. Magnetic field lines I am drawing. If the face is a cuboid, it will produce a parallel field lines. Now as it is concave shaped, so the field will be what? Radial. And here this will be south pole. Now you can very clearly see, children, the magnetic field lines. Okay. So this is a radial magnetic field which is uniform. We will discuss why this is a radial, why to create a radial magnetic field. Now here I have the turnings of the coil. So these turnings These are the turnings. Okay. Cylinder is an entire cylinder. It will go like this, it will come like this, it will go like this. Now at the center there will be a pivot. Here there is a pivot. On the pivot there will be a spring, hair spring will be there. Like this. Instead of using a suspension wire, we are using a hair spring to have air storing torque. Okay, right. Now this is having a pointer here which moves on a scale. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like this. 15 divisions or 13 divisions will be there depending on the magnitude. Okay. So this is a spiral spring. North and south are magnetic poles. This is a scale, circular scale, and this is a pointer. Okay, and what is this? This is a soft iron cylinder. A soft iron cylinder. Okay, and this is actually the coil. So where should I show this? This is your coil with n number of turns. Fine, right. Now we will have some arrangement to pass current into the coil. Okay. Now this will become a current carrying coil. Now which is placed in a radial magnetic field. So this north comma south produce radial magnetic field. The purpose of radial magnetic field is to see that the plane of the coil is always parallel to the magnetic field lines, whatever be the orientation. In previous video lesson we have shown that torque on a coil tau equals to N I A B sin theta, where theta is the angle measured between the normal drawn to the coil and magnetic field. So in order to make this sin theta effect, or if you take the plane of the coil which has got a cos theta effect, we have created a uniform magnetic field which is radial. So the purpose of radial magnetic field is, this is one more question, children. What is the purpose of radial magnetic field? The purpose of radial magnetic field is to keep the plane of the coil always parallel to whom? To magnetic field. One more question. What type of magnetic field is produced by concave shaped magnetic poles, or what are the shape of the magnetic poles used in moving coil galvanometer? Why they are concave shaped, and what is the purpose of that type of magnetic field? So this is the description. One more thing is we are using, that is nothing but a soft iron cylinder. Soft iron cylinder, why you are using means, soft iron cylinder is a ferromagnetic material. It has a very high permeability of magnetism, also susceptibility. So therefore it will increase the strength of the magnetic field at the side of the coil. Second point what I write is point number 1. Point number 2. Soft iron cylinder is used as core of the coil so as to increase the strength of magnetic field. Okay, right. Now how does it work? So we will allow the current now. This is actually the cylinder. You have started winding it like this. 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns like this. First end here, second end here. You will take a battery, connect the battery to this one. So current will go. So current will flow in the coil. So that arrangement is not being shown here in the diagram. It will become very clumsy. Fine. Now, because of this current, what will happen? The coil experiences a torque given by tau equals to B naught. That sin theta effect will not be there now. Only B naught will be there. Okay. That is the normal drawn to the plane of the coil will always make 90° with the radial field. That is why sin 90 always becomes 1. So NIAB sin theta we will not take, only NIAB we will be taking. So because of the torque, what will happen? The coil will turn, rotate. Okay? Rotate through. Now it is like this. The coil is like this. Now it is rotating through an angle alpha or theta. So now what will happen? Here there is a spiral spring, hair spring. This hair spring will get contract. So it will get on its own winding. So that winding produced in the spiral spring will now produce a restoring torque. That means it will not allow the coil to continuously go on turning. When the restoring torque in the spiral spring becomes sufficient enough, strong enough, then it will stop the rotation. After that, because of this restoring torque, the coil will come back to its original position. And when it comes to here, the coil gets what? Unwinded. That means the restoring torque gradually decreases in the spiral spring. When it comes to its normal position, the restoring torque in the coil will become what? 0. Now the coil starts experiencing again a torque. So again it will go like this. So therefore, there is a game, there is a play between the torque produced by the magnetic field and the restoring torque produced by the spiral spring. So as a result, what will happen? The coil will undergo a steady oscillation. So this is actually what is happening in the moving coil galvanometer. Okay, right. So now, in this chapter, children, two important devices were there. One is cyclotron, other is moving coil galvanometer. Now cyclotron is deleted from the syllabus, so you have got only moving coil galvanometer. Okay, right. So how does it work? Our working principle means working of MCG. Okay, now let the coil undergo a deflection alpha when a current I is passed in it. Okay, now this happens because of the torque. This happens due to the torque produced by whom? Produced by magnetic field. Okay, let K be the restoring twist per unit angle in the spring. Then for total deflection alpha, the restoring twist is K alpha. For every 1 degree, for example, we say the restoring twist developed in this one. Twist means it's like when you sit in a cradle and cradle is suspended by some 4 ropes and you turn about your own axis. So 4 ropes will get twisted themselves. And once the twisting has become very strong, automatically the cradle will go in the opposite direction. This you might have experienced in your childhood. The same thing happens with the spring. It gets winding and unwinding on its own. Okay. Now, so if tau is the torque, if tau equals to Bina, B-I-N-A, then for steady oscillation, as described earlier, for steady oscillation, we have K alpha equals to Bina. So the receiving twist must be equal to the torque experienced. So how much it is getting deflected, that how do you know, children? Here there is a circular scale I told you. So this will tell you through what angle the coil has been deflected. So the circular scale is there. The pointer will move on the circular scale. Accordingly, you can measure the alpha value. Okay, right. So now this will be written as I equals to all other things I will take this side. I equals to K by BNA into alpha, or alpha equals to BNA by K into I. So why did you reverse, sir? Means it is actually the deflection. So on what factors basically the deflection of the coil depends in the magnetic field, means it depends on the current. So this is the working principle of moving coil galvanometer. The deflection in the coil varies linearly with the current passed in the coil. If you pass more current, the coil undergoes more deflection. Less current, less deflection. Okay, right. So therefore, we say that the deflection varies linearly. What is deflection? This is deflection. So the deflection varies linearly with current. This is working principle of MCG, moving coil galvanometer. Or children, if there is 3 marks question or 5 marks question, this is the thing which you have to write depending on the weightage. 3 marks question means make it short, 5 marks question means make it large. Okay, right. So now we have something more to discuss about the moving coil galvanometer, which is called what? Sensitivity. Right. So now, so this is one part. Describe about the working of moving coil galvanometer means entire thing you have to do like this. But such a descriptive questions nowadays they are not asking. Point wise you have to write. Okay. Okay. Now sensitivity. What sensitivity? It has got 2 types of sensitivities. One is current sensitivity. Current sensitivity of MCG, moving coil galvanometer. Current sensitivity means if the coil undergoes a large deflection for a small amount of current, that is alpha divided by I, then it is said to have a higher sensitivity. So in simple terms you can define it like this: deflection of the coil per unit current. So defined as deflection of coil per unit current. That is, therefore, current sensitivity equals to deflection of the coil per unit current, alpha by I. From this equation you see children, alpha by I can be written as B N A divided by K. So this you can remember. What is the SI unit of current sensitivity means? Alpha is measured in what? Radians, degrees. I is nothing but what? Current. Degrees, radius are not SI unit. They are supplementary units. It is not at all a unit. So simply you can say ampere power minus 1 or degree per ampere or radian per ampere. So this is radian per ampere, capital A, rad per ampere. Fine. So what is B? Strength of the magnetic field. What is N? Number of turns in the coil. What is A? Area of the coil. So these two things are related to coil only, children. N is number of turns. A is the area of the coil. B is the strength of the magnetic field. K. What is K? K, we stated it like this. If K is the restoring twist per unit angle, that is the twist developed in the hair spring, that is nothing but what? Spiral spring. Okay? Fine. Now, so in order to increase the current sensitivity, you have to increase the field value, you have to increase the number of turns, you have to increase the area of the coil, you can decrease the twist in the coil. So you should select such a material for that hair spring, that is nothing but the spiral spring, such that which has got very low restoring twist. So twist should be small, field should be strong, there should be large number of turns, the area should be what? Large. But you have to operate everything very moderately. Okay? If you have very strong magnetic field, then coil will get deflection. Tau equals B ना से B ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, so large deflection होगा, जाके coil stuck हो जाते हैं, वापस नहीं आएगा. So if you have got large number of turns, then what will happen? The coil will become very bulky. It has got large inertia. So you require very strong magnetic field to produce a very large torque. So therefore, do not allow all these complications. Everything should be moderately operated. Slightly increase magnetic field. For that you are taking the help of a soft iron cylinder. Slightly increase number of turns. Slightly increase what? Area of the coil and decrease the restoring twist. So on what factors current sensitivity depends means you have to write all these factors. It increases with field. It increases with the number of turns. It increases with area of the coil and it decreases with restoring twist. Okay. Now, second one is voltage sensitivity. Voltage sensitivity. Same thing, deflection of coil per unit potential difference. Deflection of coil per unit potential difference. PD means potential difference. Where is the potential difference? Here I have shown you that soft iron cylinder है, इसके ऊपर ऐसे लपेटते हैं हम, ये बैटरी यहाँ पे लगा लेंगे, तो ऐसा. So potential difference is 12 volt. Same thing, 12 volt. So if a coil deflects through large angle for even a small potential difference, then it is said to have more voltage sensitivity. So we define it as voltage sensitivity equals to voltage sensitivity equals to deflection of the coil per unit potential difference. Deflection of coil alpha per divided by unit potential difference V. So children, this can be written as alpha equals to Ohm's law के हिसाब से IR. Now you already have alpha by I with you, that is nothing but BNA by K. So this BNA divided by K into R. So this is your voltage sensitivity. What is R here, children? R is nothing but resistance of the coil. Resistance of the coil. Why should, how do we realize the resistance of the coil means? Children, coil is after all made up of a copper wire of a particular length. So you are turning it on a soft iron cylinder. So every length of a conductor will have a resistance R equals rho into L by A. If you use large number of turns, you require a very long wire, so therefore it will offer a large resistance. All these things will matter for sensitivities. Right. Now, let us try to relate these two things. Suppose I have certain current in sensitivity which is measured in radian per ampere, Now I wanted to increase the current sensitivity. You can see here children, voltage sensitivity is nothing but voltage sensitivity equals to alpha by V is nothing but alpha by I into R. Alpha by I is nothing but what? Current sensitivity divided by what is our resistance. It is brought over from here. Alpha by V is nothing but alpha by I into R. Alpha by I is nothing but current sensitivity. So this equation will tell you children, if I increase current sensitivity, voltage sensitivity also should what? Increase. Okay. Is it true in all cases or not, that we will discuss. Right. Now this is my current sensitivity. I can increase my current sensitivity by operating any of the 4 factors which are listed here. I can increase B, I can increase N, I can increase A, I can decrease what? K. Now, I want to make it to double current sensitivity. So let me take this factor N. So my coil was having 100 turns. Okay. Now I make it as a 200 turns. So N has become what? Double. 100 turns have become 200. So N is increased by 2 times. Current sensitivity will increase by 2 times. So current sensitivity is increased by 2 times. Can I say that voltage sensitivity also increases by 2 times? Not exactly. Current sensitivity increases by 2 times, no doubt. But what about the resistance? For 100 turns you had 1 meter long wire. For 200 turns you should have a 2 meter long wire. That is, the length of the wire is increasing in order to increase the number of turns. Okay. Then if the length becomes double, what will happen to the resistance? Resistance also will become what? Double. So when 100 turns will become 200, the resistance also will become what? Double. So current sensitivity becomes double, resistance also will become double. This double will balance each other, cancel each other. So voltage sensitivity will remain same. So what to conclude is that children, is it necessary that if there is an increase in the current sensitivity, there should always be increase in the voltage sensitivity? Means always not necessary. Sometimes only. If you make B double, obviously B cannot have any effect on resistance. So voltage sensitivity can be doubled. If B doubled, current sensitivity will be doubled, voltage sensitivity will be doubled. But if N is doubled, current sensitivity will be doubled, but voltage sensitivity will remain same. Okay. So we'll stop the lesson here. Recording time is getting over. Tomorrow we are going to conclude this chapter. Thank you.